Hey, how's it going, everybody? This is Isaiah from Engineered Finance. Just doing a quick 5 to 10 minute video reacting to the American Jobs Plan. I watched a speech, I think it was last week, I think it was the 28th, April 28th, 2021. Joe Biden gave his speech in front of Congress. I was excited, listening to the speech. It was very, hopeful. There's a bunch of things that they plan to do over 15 years, and I'm just going to go through a few of the key points on the statement released by the White House. I'll put a link down below if you want to review this. So let's just review the first paragraph and then we'll go into the key points. While the American Rescue Plan is changing the course of the pandemic and delivering relief for working families, this is no time to build back to the way things were. This is the moment to reimagine and rebuild a new economy. The American Jobs Plan is an investment in America that will create millions of good jobs, rebuild our country's infrastructure, and position the United States to outcompete China. Public domestic investment as a share of the economy has fallen by 40% since the 1960s. The Americans Job Plan will invest in America in a way we have not invested since we built the interstate highway and won the space race. So it pretty much just it's mostly infrastructure, um, good jobs, and a key thing is taxing corporations, making sure the taxes pay or corporations pay their taxes, um, and making sure the working man has a shot to living a good life, the American dream. So here are the key points: fixing highways, rebuild bridges, upgrade ports, airports, and transit systems, deliver clean drinking water, a renewed electric grid, and high-speed broadband to all Americans, build, preserve, and reprofit more than, or was it retrofit? Okay. Retrofit more than 2 million homes and commercial buildings, modernize our nation's schools and child care facilities, and upgrade veterans hospitals and federal buildings, solidify the infrastructure of our care economy by creating jobs and raising wages and benefits for essential home care workers, uh, revisualizing manufacturing, secure U.S. supply chains, invest in R&D, and train Americans for the jobs of the future. And then finally, create good quality jobs and pay prevailing wages in safe and healthy workplaces while ensuring workers have a free and fair choice to organize, join a union, and bargain collectively with their employers. So one, two, three, four, five, six key points. Um, which is all this sounds great. Not sure how they're gonna pay for all this, and most likely all this stuff isn't going to get done. It's supposed to be like a 15-year plan, a combination of managing the federal budget to pour into these initiatives, and then raising corporate um, taxes, and then pulling money from that pool of taxes into these programs. So, what do I think about the fixing highways, rebuilding bridges, and the whole infrastructure part? Yes, our infrastructure is crumbling. It's old infrastructure. The main, utility power lines are really old and rusted. These are like the big ones. These are like the main ones where a ton of power goes through. They do need to be upgraded. In the bridges, yes, we have a lot of old bridges in America. So yeah, that's great. I think a lot of people will be for this, but again, a lot of this is expensive. And I think a key point of this is they're trying to repair water lines, or where's that? Right here, water lines right here, delivering clean drinking water. This is going to be very expensive because you got to dig out all these lines, and it's a lot of construction. Be very expensive to replace these lines. I doubt this is going to get done. Um, high-speed broadband to all Americans. Again, expenses to ladies' lines or to figure out something with the utility provider. It's mostly in rural America where it's not economical for these utility providers to lay these lines down. What else? I don't know about schools. Education's a little different for me. I'm not going to speak on that. More infrastructure, manufacturing, supply chain. So that's just bringing a lot of a big thing with the pandemic was we ran out of PPE. So they're going to try to bring in, a lot of healthcare products back to America, and so we can make it here just in case if there's another, or let me say when there's another, healthcare pandemic, we have the supplies and we're not relying on China for certain supplies, which is great. Create good quality and that pay prevailing wages. So this is these jobs are going to be minimum wage, 30 to 40K jobs. You're I don't know about good and quality. Now the thing about prevailing wages is that the federal government will increase the wage depending on if they're doing contract work. Because I was a prevailing wage worker at a point in my life where I got paid more than the what I would make without the federal contract. It was like I was making 18, I think. It would be like 15 without the contract. So that was interesting. But these jobs don't last. It's all contract to contract basis, whether you're doing federal or state contracts. If you're not doing federal or state contracts, you don't get a prevailing wage. And most of these are construction jobs. They're very seasonal. So I don't know about that. Um, I got about 50 more seconds. I want to speak on the if I can find it. A section here talks about investing in workforce development, which I think is nice, and preparing workers for the age of AI, automation, where a percentage of the workforce won't be needed anymore, just because they'll be automated. And then we're gonna need AI engineers and software engineers, where they're just gonna reduce the amount of people where we won't need the same amount of people. There will be a transition switch, and these people won't be able to work because it's going to be automated and robots are going to do it. But they're going to, let's say there's 1,000 people. What's going to happen is those 1,000 people, maybe 10 to 30%, depending on what the ratio is, 10 to 30% will be able to get trained in. They'll be like either technicians or engineers, etc. But it's just reducing. Realistically, it's just going to reduce the amount of people that are needed for these jobs. Now, with typically with the government and politics, they try to retain as many people as possible, even though they won't be necessary. Like the jobs they do won't be necessary or as efficient just to have them. Um, but government likes to keep people employed. When people are employed, there's less crime, less violence. Um, keep people busy. So I met my mark. That was about 7 to 10 minutes. I may do a part two where I dive deeper into the subcategories, explaining how they're going to do it. Again, corporate. I think the biggest thing, which I think this is the one thing that's going to happen, is increasing the corporate tax rate, making sure that corporations like Amazon can't avoid um, not paying taxes. That's pretty much it. I'm gonna link this down in the description. I highly recommend you review this. This plan will affect every single American citizen, and it's good to just be educated on this stuff, even if you're not political, because this will definitely affect you.